think it's safe to say that everyone loves pop-up headlights. They add a fun, lifelike feeling to the machines that we use every day. But did you know that there was a very practical purpose to pop-up headlights? Today we dive back into the 80s to find out why pop-up headlights became popular and why they've gone away. Pop-up headlights can be traced all the way back to 1936, with the Cord 810 featuring the first pop-up headlights on a production vehicle. The Cord 810 was built by the Cord Company, which was a division of the Auburn Automobile Company in the state of Indiana. So, if you're looking for a home of the pop-up headlight, it's in the Midwest. The Cord 810 used airplane lights and hid them behind its giant large fenders to keep its sleek aerodynamic look. The lights came from a Stinson for those of you who are interested in planes. The 810 was also the first front-wheel drive car to have independent front suspension, but maybe that's for another video. The hidden headlights fit in with the rest of the Cord 810, featuring hidden door hinges, a rear hinged hood, and a hidden gas cap. While it looked really cool, the Cord 810 kicked off a trend that would last over half a century. It should be mentioned that there are tons of ways to hide the headlights. The 70s favored garage door style headlights. For the sake of the video, we won't be touching on these too much since these were purely for vanity and didn't serve much of a real practical purpose. I love these style of headlights as well, but they're just not the focus. These are the focus. Yes, they look fantastic. 80s styling was brash and in your face. There were hard edges and a hyperfixation on aerodynamics. Or sometimes, just not. Screw your aero and dynamics. But for sports cars, a wedge shape seemed to be the holy grail. Take this TVR 280i from 1986. The platform is officially known as the wedge platform. However, in order to create a wedge shape, the nose of the car has to be thin and low. This created a legal issue. In most states and provinces, there is a legal height requirement for headlights. It makes sense, people need to be able to see you from afar at night. So in order to comply to this law, as well as keep their sleek aerodynamic shape, car designers opted for pop-up headlights to solve their problem. This was the best of both worlds and gave us one of the coolest car designs ever to hit the streets. So what happened to this cool feature? Why is it absent from modern vehicle design? Well, for that, I have 3 reasons. Reason number 1. It's not cool anymore. Automotive design moves quick. I think it's fair to say that 80s cars don't look much like the cars we drive today. Much like shag carpet floor mats, buttons sewed into the seats, and solid square headlights, the pop-ups are no longer fashionable. Plain and simple. Reason number 2. They break. In order to pop up the headlights, there are usually several motors, arms, and actuators that work together to raise the light into view. With so many working parts, it's just a matter of time before one of them fails. This is bad for multiple reasons. Of course, this would make driving at night unsafe for the driver, but also for motorists, since there are few to no reflectors on the front of the car to reflect their headlights and point you out in the dark. Now, most cars have a fix for this, having manual cranks right next to the motor to pop the headlights up for service or in case of motor failure. For the first generation Mazda RX-7, there are knobs under a rubber cap behind each headlight motor, and for the second generation RX-7, the same knobs can be found by reaching up under the headlight motors from the front bumper. However, most motorists are unaware of these manual cranks. Now, some of you might be screaming at your computer and saying,
"But Zach, the Lamborghini Mira had pop-ups way before all of this."
Yes, But at that time, pop-up headlights were on small production niche cars. In the 1980s, regular Hondas and Toyotas had them. They were no longer on cool collector cars, but daily drivers. Cars that would see 200,000 miles, not just Cars and Coffee twice a year. If your headlights don't work on the way to Cars and Coffee, no big deal. But if your headlights don't work at 1 in the morning when you're trying to get home, that's a big deal. Reason number 3. Pedestrian safety. This is commonly referred to as the last nail in the coffin for pop-up headlights. Regulations on vehicles in their relation to pedestrians tightened in the late 1990s. Most pop-up headlights were sharp and pointy, which may hurt a pedestrian in the case of an accident. I think if you had 3,000 pounds of steel, rubber, and glass coming at you, the headlights would probably be the least of your concerns, but hey, I don't make the rules. This created the bubble design trend of the early 2000s, with a hefty emphasis on plastic front bumpers with receded metal crash bars, not the kneecap killers of the 1980s. This rule change didn't make pop-up headlights illegal, but automakers didn't think it was worth the R&D money to revamp the already old design feature. So with all of these reasons, the pop-up headlights were laid to rest in 2004, with the C5 Chevy Corvette being the last production car to feature them. Could a car maker release a car today with pop-up headlights wrapped in pool noodles and bubble wrap? Sure, but will that happen? Most likely not. That being said, Hyundai's new design of hidden headlights that aren't noticeable when they're off could be considered as a modern interpretation of pop-ups, but they still lack the charm that the little wedges of the 1980s once had. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini documentary. I've been having a blast making these once a month for you guys. If you haven't seen my other 3 80s car short documentaries about quartz clocks, the 55-mile-an-hour speed limits, or the third brake light, check those out at the end of this video. And if you have any ideas for future documentaries, please leave it in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.